that this person is chronic. There's no way that person can fast ever again. As far as I know, maybe something happens. But as far as I know, I'll just advise that patient, look, you need to consider the permanent avenues of redemption for that without feeling bad.
Yeah. Sometimes it's difficult for people to accept the mercies. They feel they have to suffer all the time, and then they're
and you
good.
see, it's just like when you travel, right? And you understand, when you travel, you shorten your prayers.
Yes.
You shouldn't feel bad about, oh, I did not do the full prayer now. What's going to happen to me? I'm shortening them to 2. No, enjoy it. That's what it's there for. It's designed for your comfort. The deen came to make us happy and comfortable, not to make us crazy. So, and not to be a burden on us, but to walk along with us in this life. That's what it is for.
Shaykh, the other question I wanted to ask was about aurat for female, especially surgeons, anesthetists, etc., or even normal doctors in the ward, because we are told some hospitals practice that you should not wear anything below your elbows in order to keep sterility or to prevent infection, because your watch even or clothes could
everything, your ring, everything
could
goes off.
bring infection from bed to bed. The second thing is to scrub in. Female surgeons wear the scrub suit, and before they gown up, they'll be scrubbing, and they will come and gown up in a public OT. So what do you think about that?
It's an operation theater, you know it. I think the best you can do is if you could provide a facility for them to do so. If that's possible, that would be great. So we'll get out of that, because once they're scrubbed in, they're done. It's just the act before scrubbing them in is the problem, I guess. And so if we provide a space for them to be scrubbed in, and once they're scrubbed in, it's fine. So that would be a nice solution to that. That's how I would look at it. Yeah. Yes. Alaikum salam. Psychiatrist.
So how do we relate Salah and meditation?
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you. Psychiatry is a big field, and up until 1970, psychiatry was not taught at medical schools in the United States as part of medicine, because they did not view, allopathic physicians. We look at these things. What do you mean? He said, she said business. I don't know. I can't. I need some biochemistry to verify all that stuff. So they did not really view it as part of medicine until 1970, which, again, psychiatry I think is great. We need it. We need the solutions. But I also tend to think sometimes it's ethnocentric. What Erickson and what Karen Horney and what Freud said are not God-given statements that are not subject to change. And they're ethnocentric as well. So I think as a psychiatrist, you probably need to be flexible in that sense, understand what the specificities of the community and the people you're dealing with. So that's one. And from that we go to meditation. Definitely prayers is meditation, by definition. Even the dhikr that you do after the prayers, that's a form of meditation. Islam gives you different forms of meditation, really, while during the day, to diversify the forms of meditation, and that's what really is. And that's why Salah does not really bring its actual effects unless you're really meditating in it. In other words, meditating meaning what? Meaning you're really bringing your soul, you and your Creator. Not that you're going into Salah and you're thinking about the OT and what's going to happen and what the chief resident says and what the other attending said and what the other people said and all this business. And what happens to your presentation, what happens to the paper that you're doing. You're not really praying. You're praying with your body. You're not praying with your heart. It's accepted. I shouldn't say. It's valid, but you're not really reaping the rewards of spiritual infusion that will help you also physiologically. If you're not really meditating in it, it means that you're really having your heart with the Creator and you're getting close and you're really, it's a zone, you're zoning out to zone in. So I think that's something that you probably can use with the patients. Allah knows best.
Sorry, I'm so much into this meditation because it is ingrained in Buddhism, but I hardly find any scholars who actually talk about Islam and meditation and practice that. And while I'm learning about this so-called meditation according to the Buddhism or Buddhist understanding, I'm able to get myself understand Salah more.
But doctor,
Yeah.
what do you think the Prophet did when he was in the cave?
That's the thing. This I wanted to ask
What do you think? And afterwards, I mean, that's what they used to do. What do you think is when you stand up the night and you do your dhikr at night?
Sorry.
And when you read the book at night, or when you read the book, what are you reading? You're just reading you're not reading a newspaper. You're trying to meditate.
That's the thing, Shaykh. I'm so sorry about it because
No,
I
please
discovered about this when Rasulullah SAW, he spent the whole month of Ramadan in Gua Hira, which I read for about few years until he got the first wahyu from Jibreel. But nothing was mentioned about the time when he spent his time in the Hira compared to Buddha, where he spent years sitting under the tree and get himself away from, the families. He's from the, the monarchy family. But nothing was mentioned except for when he received the first verse, which is Iqra, he went back and told his wife Siti Khadijah. But nobody really studied what happened, what did he do in this Gua Hira that, that he confined himself alone. And that is considered as a meditation, which until now I'm still searching. Any scholars study this meditation by Rasulullah as compared to people who study about meditation by Buddha. So I still unable to find anyone talking about that, Sheikh.
I don't know of a comparative study on the aspects of meditation between our faith and the Buddhist faith, if you're saying that. But all I'm saying is, and the Quran is very clear when it talks about, don't you look at the stars, don't you look at the skies, don't you look at the mountains, don't you contemplate? What is contemplation? Meditation. So it's present. It was not just after the first revelation. It was also every Ramadan. Remember, every month of fasting, the last 10 days, what would the Prophet ﷺ do? He would be totally secluded in his mosque, doing daily things and nightly things. And some of the times the meditation through the reading of the book, where Ibn Mas'ud, for example, one time said that the Prophet ﷺ came and he was reading the whole Baqarah and Ali Imran and Nisa, 3 surahs all in one rak'ah. So that's meditation. And that where he would stop and he would interact with the surah and he would cry at times and then he would, etc. So you see all this interaction with the book. That's all form of meditation, without a doubt. And yes, I mean, it's good to have actually a study about meditation in Islam. But it's plenty examples. Yeah.
Assalamualaikum. It's me again. I just want to go back to a similar question like the dialysis with analogy to anesthesia. I'm a bit confused. As a consultant in anesthesia, we are asked sometimes to go and confirm a brain death by doing a brain death testing.
Yeah.
And once it's confirmed, then we normally what we do is just not accelerate or the treatment, but just to put it at the last level that we can,
Right.
And then eventually the patient will die.
Right.
Is that considered euthanasia? Secondly, second question, sometimes we are asked to intubate and ventilate a patient, and I also have come to a part where sometimes we think as a physician that this patient has very poor prognosis, and if I were to intubate and ventilate this patient, it's going just to prolong his suffering, his death, and prolong his suffering. So, and in my limitation of intensive care beds, I've decided that no, I'm not going to bring this patient because I've got another patient which I think in my own judgment and a team of doctors think that the other patient will benefit more. Is that something wrong to do? Is that also euthanasia? Oh, thank you.
So look, with the first one, as a, you're not pulling the plugs off. You're not turning the machines off. You're keeping the patient on minimum. I would not view that as you're not euthanasia. You're not really killing the patient. You are still treating the patient. You're offering treatment, maybe not the best level of treatment, and I think you're informing the family of that. So that's one. I don't view it as euthanasia. Let me put it this way. So I don't want to. I want to be technical in what I say, as much as possible. So if it's not euthanasia, I don't see an issue with it personally, and Allah knows best. For the second question, it's an industrious question. Because you're saying, I feel, based on my medical knowledge, that this and this and this is appropriate and this is not appropriate. You make that call.
What my question is, how would I be judged on that in the later after something?
Thou shall do no harm. If you did not do any harm, inshallah, you'll be okay. You have to do the best you can. And remember that our best may not be good enough at the end. At the end of the day, my best, your best, may not be good enough. That's a fact we face in medicine every day. But we will do the best. That's all I can do. And Allah's the judge. All right.
Okay, it's already Zohor now.
Okay.
If there are any more burning questions, otherwise, I think we have to thank Shaykh Muhammad very much for his time and energy and standing up for so long there while we are seated comfortably.
That's good.
And inshallah, all of us have learned something. And inshallah, we have a lot more to learn, but hopefully things will carry on and progress. And we wish you a very pleasant stay in Malaysia and also a safe journey back to Atlanta.
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you so much. Allah bless you all.